Mixed martial arts has been the cornerstone of combat entertainment for the past 30 years and shows no signs of slowing down. Over the past 15 years, the sport has grown massively, including an expansion into women's fighting. One of the best female fighters to ever participate in the UFC, Felicia Spencer, recently announced her retirement. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at her incredible career in the UFC and what else is going on in the world of MMA. You are not going to want to miss a second of this video, so please don't go anywhere. With that being said, let's get right into it. Felicia Spencer and her start into MMA. Felicia Spencer was born in Montreal, Quebec, Canada on November 20th, 1990. The French-Canadian native did not spend very much time in her native land as she and her family quickly packed it all up and relocated down to Inglewood, Florida. Spencer was unlike most kids. She didn't bother picking up a regular girls' sport like soccer or softball or dancing. No, Spencer followed in the steps of her brother and took up Taekwondo at age 4. Her combat training intensified as she got older, as she enrolled in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and kickboxing to diversify her fighting skills. In 2009, Spencer decided to transition to MMA full-time, and she joined Jungle MMA when she moved to Orlando, Florida to attend the University of Central Florida. While some watching this video may consider this a party school, I can assure you that Central Florida did not see much partying from Spencer. Spencer trained with Jungle MMA for 3 years until she began her amateur career in 2012, fighting in the Tough Enough Future Stars of MMA tournament. Spencer dominated her tournament, earning herself a 5-1 record during her 6 bouts. Her performance in this tournament would eventually led her to being signed into the UFC in 2015. Spencer's promotional career. Spencer made her promotional debut in MMA on September 15, 2015, where she took on Rachel Wiley at Invicta FC 14. Spencer's bout was a preliminary match, but it turned out to be quite the technical showing. Spencer kicked Wiley out early in the first round to take a win in her very first pro bout. Spencer didn't fight again until nearly 2 years later in March of 2017. Spencer took on Madison McElhaney in a featherweight bout for the ages. The slugfest resulted in Spencer earning her second pro win by unanimous decision, with the judges scoring in favor 30-27, 30-27, and 29-28. Spencer continued her promotional career in Invicta FC for the next 2 years, completing 4 more fights, in which she went undefeated for a 6-0 career record. Spencer's performance earned her a spot in the UFC, and Spencer officially signed a contract in the world's foremost combat sports league in 2019, finally launching her career to superstar level. Spencer in the UFC. May 18, 2019. That was the big day for Felicia Spencer, as she made her debut in the ring for the UFC. Spencer went on to battle against Megan Anderson as the third fight in the main card of UFC Fight Night, Dos Anjos vs. Lee. Spencer wasted no time by placing Anderson in a rear naked choke early in the first round, resulting in Spencer's first win in the UFC. Spencer's second bout in the UFC did not go as well as she hoped, as she lost her first fight in her professional career. Spencer faced off against Cris Cyborg, one of the UFC's most feared female combatants. Cyborg's lifetime record at the time of their bout was 20 wins, 2 losses, and 1 no contest. Cyborg and Spencer had such a reputation that they were the co-main event at UFC 240. Cyborg won the match by unanimous decision, but she did not let this loss get her down, as less than a year later Spencer re-entered the ring at UFC Fight Night 169 to square off against fellow featherweight Zara Fair dos Santos, and Spencer did all that she could to find herself back in the win column. Sure enough, her hard work paid off. Spencer won by TKO early in the first round to see her record in the UFC climb to 2-1, and her overall record in professional fighting rise to 8-1. Spencer's next 2 fights did not go as well, however. Spencer fought Amanda Nunes and Norma Dumont respectively, and Spencer ended up losing both fights, the first by unanimous decision and the second by split decision. Spencer's most recent bout, however, was against Leah Letson during UFC Fight Night, Holloway vs. Rodriguez. Spencer fought valiantly and proved victorious in the third round, securing a TKO. This win bumped Spencer's record to a very impressive 9-3. On December 2nd, 2021, Spencer decided to hang up the shorts and officially called an end to her career. Why would Spencer decide to stop fighting? As we mentioned earlier, Spencer had been training her entire life to be a professional fighter, so why would she retire at just the age of 31? Spencer put everyone's speculative questions to rest when she appeared on the MMA Hour. Spencer told fans that she considered retiring from MMA even before her bout with Letson, but she said that she decided to fight Letson as she did not want to end her career with a loss. It's been a while, was Spencer's response when asked how long she had been thinking of retirement. Definitely leading into this camp, I already knew that this was going to be my last fight, and honestly was thinking about it the camp prior to this one, back in the spring, and a little bit after the fight, after I lost, I was thinking that might be it. Some of you are probably still wondering, why did she decide to retire? Spencer cited injury as her reason for retirement, specifically head trauma. I'm fine, but I just know that the brain can only take so much, and I've been in some wars. Spencer continued on by saying the only way to guarantee not being in a war is just not to go in there. I've showed myself I'll do whatever it takes to stay in the fight. For me, the only way I can avoid getting damage as a guarantee is not to fight. If you ask me, Spencer's long-term physical and mental health are much more important important than her continuing her fighting career. Unfortunately, this is not always an attitude shared by both fans and executives in combat sports, as long-term care seems less important than current performance. When is it time to retire? Many pro athletes find it difficult to pin down an exact time or age in which it is appropriate to retire, but I think Felicia Spencer may be beginning to start a trend in contact sports. Some athletes do not retire until they have to suffer a traumatic injury that forced them to retire instead of retiring prior to the injury. Obviously, they do this because they do not want to risk throwing away potential competitive years due to fear of injury, but it seems as though Spencer decided that at 31 years old, the potential reward failed to outweigh the potential risk of injury when fighting. I believe that this attitude should be improved in sports, especially contact or combat sports, because it is a shame when amazing athletes either have to have their careers ended due to traumatic injury their body can never fully recover from, or having the athlete's quality of life completely robbed from them due to sacrificing their brain and bodies to their sport. A regular person's 9-to-5 job does not require them to sacrifice their entire well-being for the betterment of the company in most cases. Obviously, I understand that pro sports are nothing like 9-to-5 jobs, but they do share one similarity. It's the person's livelihood, and nobody deserves to have the rest of their life stolen from them due to their job decision. Many athletes do compete at an elite level far into their 30s and even sometimes into their 40s, and most of them are likely to live long and healthy lives after their sporting career is over, but unfortunately, some will not. It's not a hard question for athletes to ask themselves, but eventually they all have to ask, is this worth it? Will this all be worth it when I'm 65, and will I be able to be a functioning human being at 65 if I continue down this path? Some athletes don't ask this question until it is too late, but luckily for Felicia Spencer, she will never have to ask that question. And that's the video. Thank you all so much for watching. What did you think about Felicia Spencer's decision to retire at 31? Did it take you by surprise? Do you think her decision to retire early due to concerns for her long-term health is valid? Why or why not? Let us know in the comment section below. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please consider leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel. It's free to you, it only takes a few seconds, and it's a tremendous help to the channel. Thank you all again, and we'll see you in the next video.